Good morning, beautiful beings.
Good morning.
I have a whiskey tenor today, so bear with me. I had the opportunity to practice wellness this week. Had a seeming bump in the road of my vocal communication, so I get to have that repaired, and knowing that during this wonderful time that we have together, that I will be audible and that the perfect words come forth in a tenor and a tone that may be a bit different than I usually speak from, but it is from the heart. So beautiful beings. It's a great day, and I'm so happy to see the sun out. I had web feet for a few days, like all of you. And speaking of Thanksgiving and the wonderful opportunity to have the abundance that we do, I am so grateful for this new roof on this building. And I'm sure we'd have had lots of tracks in the ceiling, not this sanctuary, but certainly in fellowship in the office. You know, at the conclusion of most of our Sunday celebrations, we lovingly sing, "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me." And peace does begin with the individual. And peace begins with me. And it begins with Diana and Freeman, Stephen, Sharon, everyone, Sandy. All of peace begins with the interior thought and the delivery of your consciousness. All of life is consciousness. Everything that we have is consciousness. Every day we have the opportunity to script what we'll write for ourselves. We do our own story. We get to write it every single day. When you roll over in bed, put your feet on the floor, we start then to write the script that we're going to have. We write for ourselves, and that's a good thing. Many of us journal. Certainly if you're devoted to Louise Hay like I am, to journal, to keep track of your thoughts, your desires and the essence that you want, where you want to go, what you want to be. When we journal and write, we connect with that high power. We get to also write how we're going to play this part out, how we're going to be as Diana is in her Oliver. She gets to be someone that maybe she really isn't in line. She gets to play that new script. And we get to decide what kind of a wardrobe we're going to wear. Big hats, no hats, country western, whatever. We have that opportunity. We have that choice. And we also have the opportunity to know what emotions we're going to let loose with, or whether we're going to hold on to them. Is it going to be felt and be seen, or are we just going to kick it under the toe kick? We can live our authentic self. We don't have to repress anything. We live our truth. What I've come to know that I'm responsible for my destiny. Nobody else. I get to do the show. I produce my own show. I design my own costumes in mind. And I take this Louie show on the road wherever I go. And being a Gemini, if I don't like it, I'll change costumes in between. And it's okay. It's okay. That silent night was beautiful today. So perfect for the lesson for the season. There's a warmth and a wonderment for me in December. There's that feeling of community and family and goodness that always is. And when I take my road on the show, and my show on the road, and I have my wagon of props, and certainly I want to thank everybody that helped with the Christmas trees and the decorations last week. Stephen, Karen, Kathy, and her gentleman, what we do without Keith, and Reverend Eileen, and all of us that helped. It was just a wonderful opportunity. We had so much glitter in here that it broke the vacuum cleaner. And I said, I like a little bling, but we had a sufficient bling. So thank you too for bringing this beautiful source of merriment to the season. It makes it all work. I wish to share with you today that we're all islands of now. And I was thinking about that as we dot around the universe. We're floating. We're in that safe space, a good space. We're moving in a sea of what appears to be time. And we know that we teach in this center, there's no time in the mind of spirit. God is timeless and ageless. And I know that. But somehow those 12 months seem to go by quicker and quicker and quicker. And as you've heard me say, that one of my friends at my class reunion in September said to me, he said, Louie, it's not that time's going faster, you're moving slower. If I was a slapping person, I'd have But that's not loving. And so I'm in my valley of love right now. And that inner peace that is so connected with that source. And I know that my valley of peace is loving. It's kind, and it's supportive. It has no boundaries, only what I box it into. But I like to think that my valley, and I know that my valley is large, and it encompasses everyone that I meet. And we journey together. We journey together. And in that valley of love, it cradles me in peace and contentment. And there's always space with the infinite. Always space. And I know that in that valley of peace, it is a location and a mental destination of where I choose to reside. And in turn, I can live with compassion and care and respect, integrity, and a deep love connection with each and every one here at this center. I like to think of it as a caring mental location, one that I enjoy being in and living from. I choose to live in the valley of peace, my valley of choice, and my space to express from. There's, the last few months, there's been a time in my life, and you've heard me say that I never like to talk about chronological numbers, but I like to talk about, and today I want to touch upon this, there comes wisdom. And I like to think that I've become more wisdom-filled. And when you have that wisdom, there is a connection with Source, a connection with all of it. Not only at the center, but all of life. And what I do during the day, what I do in the classroom, what I do in the ministership here at the center. There is a deep connection that's been made, and I'm certainly not getting ready to do a transformation or a transition, I'm here to tell you that. But there is an evolvement of my consciousness that I am recognizing for the very first time, and I think you mentioned that in meditation today, when you spoke of that, Michael. And it's true that when you live in that valley of peace, there's a contentment and a feeling. I don't mean that you rest on your laurels or swing in a swing. I guess you can if you want to, that's okay. Or a teeter-totter. But there's something that consciousness within makes you become aware of your divine connection. As we celebrate our word of peace, which is our December word here at the center, and the music and everything is so tied together today. And Eileen, it was wonderful. Love to hear Dr. Holmes. His wonderful verbiage and his connection to that source. You know, Dr. Holmes writes in the textbook, and I want to share with you today on peace. And he says, peace is a state of inner calm, an inner calm so complete that nothing can disturb it. The peace which comes only from the knowledge that it is all. Fathomless peace is meant by the peace of spirit. This is the peace to which Jesus referred when he said, peace I leave you with, my peace I give unto you. The infinite is always at peace because there is nothing to disturb it. So when we enter this season in peace, living peace, expressing peace, and filled with gratitude for receiving that peace, we'll walk in this consciousness. It's the way it works. It's the way it works. Well, I want to ask you a question. Michael is usually the question individual, but I ask you this morning, where is your point of peace? Where is your point of peace? It's not under a rock or on the floor beneath your chair. It's not in a tree. Your peace and your center of peace is within. Right within you. Right where we live and breathe. Right where we acknowledge that love connection with the source and the power. Your peace center is your God self expressing. Expressing in the truth of that which is your divine truth. And when you express with that, there's a calmness and a tranquility, a comfort level for you, so to speak. That peace is undisturbed. It's just as level as water on a plate. It's without a ripple. It's serene and indwelling. And there's a connection with nature and with source. And is that place of comfort. It's sort of like chili beans and cornbread. It's comfort food. It makes you feel good when you tie into that connection. And during this time of the year, I think we make a connection, or I surely have, in treatment this past week, of the memories that family brought to my consciousness. And those wonderful Christmas past. And I know that toward the end of the month, I think the 23rd, when Reverend Michael and I will be sharing the Dias that day, and we'll be talking on Christmas memories. And I know that each one of you holds something special and dear and unique in your mind about those past Christmases. Well, the best of times is now, just like the song implies, because we make it so. We power that thought, not only with memories, but looking to the future. And that when we know, from this mental knowing, that when we know it, we know it. And it's undisturbed, it's forever expressing by the individual. And our greater good begins within our own consciousness because it's all here. And I do believe that we are equipped with everything we need to know. All we have to do is come true to it and recognize it and call forth this magnificent power that's within. This time of the year is a great time to enter our own valley of peacefulness.